Hi, I'm Janet Thomas from Bloc Loc, and I'm here to show you another one of our fantastic rulers. Stay tuned. Today I want to show you our most amazing ruler yet. It's called our DIT, or Diamond Inside a Triangle. And what you're seeing over here is one version that it makes. I'm going to show you some more in just a moment. But what this is it is a three-piece set. You have your grooved ruler here, and then you have your two oversized cutting templates. And these actually have grain lines, so what you'll be doing is you will measure from this edge of the ruler to there and add about 1/8 of an inch and cut a strip, and then you'll simply place this on a rotary cutting mat and cut around it and turn the ruler and cut around it and work your way. And the same thing with this one. You will measure, because this also has grain line markings, and so you're going to measure from that edge of the ruler to that edge, add 1/8 of an inch, cut a strip and put it on your strip of fabric and start cutting around that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some other variants that these do. I'm going to start with a more simple one, and it looks like this. And this is just a simple alternating color scheme for a hexagon. So what I've done off camera is I have actually heavily starched my fabric, and I've cut them out with just that ruler because this is the exact shape that we need. So I've got my piece here and I'm going to alternate, and if you notice there is a little point right up here, and that's what goes in the center. So I'll arrange my pieces like so. That up there. Okay, now the one thing that I need to explain is that we're not going to be sewing a complete hexagon like this because that's too hard to sew to another hexagon. What we're actually going to do is we're going to move these away and we're going to sew 3 together at a time. So I'll bring these close to my needle, and I've got my needle position at 4.0, and I've got my favorite foot on the machine. It's got a flange on one end, and then I'm going to use a needle down position, and at this point I'm going to take this triangle and flip it on top of that one so that they are right sides together and match everything up. Take a couple of stitches and then make sure that everything is lined up as best as I can, and then sew this away. Trim those threads, and then because I have starched heavily, I can just finger press, and this is what I think is so nice with that technique, is that I can just finger press and keep right on plugging along. Then I'm going to take this triangle and move it on top of that one with right sides together. Get that corner. Take a couple of stitches again and then arrange my fabric so that I've got everything all lined up, and then I can sew this one. Okay, and then I finger press again, and these seams are all going like this, and so when I bring the other ones over, I'm going to do the same thing with them. And then when I'm all done, I'm going to have 2 distinctly different pieces, and I'm going to show you a sample that I've done previously. So they're going to go like this. And then you're actually not going to sew that seam because I'm going to take some more. Let me grab another piece. I can't wait to get this one done. It's going to be a beautiful fall quilt. So I'm going to take this one and put it with that color. And then this all goes together in rows, you see, so you're actually not ever going to sew them into hexagons. They're just going to sew in straight rows like that. So you'll put them together as if it were a whole hexagon, but then just leave it in half, and then you'll sew them together into straight rows. Okay, to make a star inside this hexagon, we're actually going to bring in these other two pieces that we've already cut. And again, I have pre-starched my yardage and cut everything. And one thing that you're really going to want to do, let me bring this in a little bit, is you want to arrange it like it needs to be seen. So please arrange your pieces like this. The chopped off point of this triangle needs to match the side of the diamond. And if you notice, this white triangle is actually longer than the center diamond, but that's okay. We're going to flip this right sides together, match that corner first. That's your match point, so always look for that. Put this under your needle. Normal 1/4 inch seam allowance. Take a couple of stitches and then make sure that you're lined up pieces. Sew that seam. And then because of that nifty starch, I'm going to press that seam back. Now I need to add the other piece, and normally you would think to clip that, but please don't. It makes a fantastic handle. So when I flip this one on top of that one, and I'm matching it to the chopped off point on that triangle, I'll show you why I don't trim that. Again, I take a couple of stitches and make sure that I'm lined up. And as I get close, I'm going to put my finger on this piece that's sticking out that I did not trim away, and that allows me to keep absolute control over that piece. And then I can finger press this out, and it looks like that. And so now what I need to do is take my grooved ruler and put it on top and lock on and trim all the way around. Move this over a little bit. I do recommend using a turntable. It would be much better if you do. Make sure that you're all the way filled inside that groove. And then all I have to do is chop off that little point and I'll be ready to sew it in, except I've got to do one more thing. As I'm looking at this piece, these seams are both coming out to the outside of the unit. And if you notice on this side, when I turn it over, I've got one seam out and one seam in. And because I've used starch, I can take this one seam that is loose and I can finger press it back to the inside, because finger pressing isn't permanent. And then if you want to, you could, press it with a dry iron or even a steam iron. It wouldn't hurt it at this point. And then as I sew these together into threes, I can have one seam out and one seam in, and they will match beautifully right here and right here. So that's how we do that. And now let's turn our attention to some other sizes of these diamond in a triangles. The diamond in a triangle ruler set are available in 6 sizes. And look at this little teeny tiny one. This is our 1-inch finished. Isn't that something? This is our 2-inch finished, our 3-inch finished. The 4-inch finished was what I made just a little while ago. Then we have our 5-inch finished, and finally our 6-inch finished. And now let's look at some other things that the diamond in a triangle ruler will make. Here are some other things that the diamond in a triangle ruler will do. You can make a diamond border, you can make a quilt called 1,000 pyramids, and you can do a whirling hexagon. For the whirling hexagon, look for our Millefiori pattern on our website at www.blocloc.com. Thanks for joining us today. Please visit our website for more information, and happy quilting.